quite a bit of bitterness coming from Team USA's coach Cheryl Reeves when she was asked pretty much any questions about Caitlin Clark. And she was asked if there was any second guessing from her on Caitlin Clark not making the team, and she very just spitefully says no. Doesn't elaborate on it, just says no.
For me?
Yeah.
No.
And it's funny to me how even she coached this game, because if you didn't think Caitlin Clark was the caliber of player that she is, then why would you feel the need to face guard her, to trap her?
When Stephen A. Smith hit the brakes on Angel Reese's latest headline-grabbing moment, it felt less like sports commentary and more like primetime reality TV imploding in real time. After what many online dubbed a bold Caitlin Clark style move, the internet erupted with disbelief, and Stephen A. wasted no time turning his mic into a full-blown flamethrower. If you thought the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark peaked on hardwood, think again. This saga spilled straight into the spotlight. With sharp words and zero hesitation, Stephen A. called out what he saw as an ego-fueled spectacle, leaving fans stunned and Reese squarely in the center of the storm. Buckle up, because this isn't just basketball drama, it's a full-scale media showdown, and we're diving headfirst into the chaos.
Watching the All-Star selection, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeves off the team. That's my team. I don't yo, son. Cheryl Reeves, you asked for it. You asked for it. So now Sandy Brondello will be coaching Caitlin Clark's team, and Cheryl Reeves is going to be coaching the Fisa Collier's team. This is insane right here. And it's like, yo, Cheryl Reeves, I get it. You have the best record in the WNBA so far. You want as many plays.
4 points. That's it. No hidden stat line. No dramatic twist. Just 4. Angel Reese delivered a stat sheet, so quiet it barely made a sound. And somehow the internet still found a way to turn up the volume. This was a Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever matchup, and let's be crystal clear. Caitlin Clark wasn't even in action. She was sidelined, wrapped up on the bench, sipping Gatorade and watching the game unfold. No defensive pressure from her. No offensive fireworks stealing the spotlight. The stage was wide open. And still, Reese couldn't seize the moment. In a game where the narrative practically begged for a breakout performance, the production just never came, leaving fans stunned and critics with plenty to say.
Bruh, tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke. Bruh, Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeves on national television.
How do you step into a game where the headline star is literally on the bench icing her ankle and somehow decide this is the night to disappear? With Caitlin Clark's sideline now the spotlight, the stage was wide open, no shadow, no showdown, just opportunity. And instead of owning it, Angel Reese turned in a performance that felt painfully out of sync with the moment. If the goal was to carve out an anti-Caitlin identity, congratulations, because while one was recovering, the other was posting numbers so quiet they barely echoed. For points isn't a takeover. It's not even a statement. In a game built for someone to seize control, that stat line felt less like competition and more like a missed signal flare begging for a reset.
Man, she came out stating how not only herself, but her players were kind of upset about the coaches' votes for the reserves, for the All-Star. Now, the crazy thing about it is, she's going to be coaching Caitlin Clark's team. So, I don't know how that's going to work with her coming out and saying what she said.
And yes, she cleaned the glass. 12 rebounds, right on brand. Angel Reese attacks missed shots like they owe her money. And you can't knock the hustle there. If her bound were currency, she'd be sitting on a fortune. But here's the tension. Boards are only half the story. When the offense stalls and the box score shows single digits in the scoring column, the grind on the glass starts to feel like a side quest instead of the main mission. Rebounding is grit, it's effort, it's necessary, but buckets are how you tilt games. And in a night that begged for scoring punch, it felt like the aggression stopped at the rim instead of finishing through.
The WNBA All-Star Draft was fun between Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, the team captains picking the players, picking the rosters. But the most interesting aspect was the coach swap, because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty. Of course, Reeve is Collier's head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, so that makes sense. But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to.
You know it's rough when the broadcast starts reaching for the "she's impacting the game in other ways" line. Other ways how? Vibes? Cardio? Because for long stretches it looked like Angel Reese was just logging miles, not moments. The swagger's still there, the polish, the presence. But the box score isn't backing it up, and that disconnect is loud. This isn't college anymore, and the Bayou Barbie aura only carries you so far when production dips. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark draws defensive attention like a magnet, blitz, bump, crowded, and still finds ways to tilt the floor with passes, spacing, and the occasional deep three. It's not about lashes or labels. It's about impact. Right now, one player's gravity is warping the game even under pressure, and the other's searching for that same command at the pro level. The league adjusts fast. The question is who adjusts faster.
They're there. There's nothing no crying and whining is going to do about it. The same way you didn't give two shits about Caitlin Clark's fan base and all that. Don't nobody give two shits about your crying. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You're coaching Caitlin Clark's team. I don't understand why you had to make it a big deal and say, oh, well, this team's below us to have more plays and us, and it's disappointing. And like, what are you talking about? Like, you already kept her off the Olympics. Now you're going to complain about her having more teammates than your players on the court. This team.
She had the lights, the attention, the perfect setup, and still couldn't turn it into a statement. Angel Reese crashed the boards with that familiar edge, snatching rebounds like the rim personally offended her. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Not all rebounds shift the game. Cleaning the glass is work. Converting possessions is impact. And too often it feels like the hustle stops right where the scoreboard starts. You can box out like you're training for a fitness commercial. You can stack boards like collectibles. But a follow-up shot looks rushed or the offense stalls. The grind loses its shine. Now the chatter's getting louder about minutes, about rotations, about whether this breakout season is still loading or already buffering. Pros don't hand out participation trophies. Production talks. And while the swagger that made her a headline in college is still there, the W needs consistency, not just confidence. The narrative can flip fast, one dominant stretch, and the noise quiets. But until the rebounds turn into rhythm and the presence turns into points, the spotlight's going to feel less like a stage and more like an interrogation lamp.